Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Couch Goblin, and we are going to be doing an unboxing of RuneQuest. This is number one on the starter sets and beginner boxes for TTT RPGs in my collection. This is the pinnacle. This is what people should be making and how to do everything. What everything is included in this should be included in every beginner box and starter set for your favorite games. Let's get into it. Actually, before we get into it, like, subscribe, all the bits and pieces. If you find something you like in this video, like, subscribe. We're also a Twitch channel, so Goblin Cave TV on Twitch. You can follow us on there for our live shows. We have a lot of live shows every week, and on Twitter, while it still survives, we're Goblin Cave TV. So let's get into it. So this is from Call of Cthulhu. This is from Chaosium, the people that make Call of Cthulhu. They have spent a lot of thought in putting this together, and this is why that's why I find it being the best. It is a small box, so this is about half the size of a normal beginner box or starter set. Most of them are about double the thickness, but in saying that, this is packed. This is actually to the brim packed. There is no gap to the top, like absolutely no gap to the top. You get, of course, a dice set. Simple dice, clear to read, nothing fancy, nothing specific, nothing custom, but they're just a nice dice set. Oh, one thing about the size of the box. This box is just a little bit bigger than A4, which is really, really freaking annoying. That's one of my main gripes with this entire package, is just that little bit bigger, but that's because the dice can set there. So the box being that little bit bigger allows the dice to be at the top. That's pretty much my only gripe with this entire box set. It just doesn't fit on the shelves as easy. So we'll move the dice out of the way. We have a what's in the box. These should be mandatory for all beginner boxes because it tells you if you're missing something. Let's get into it. So also, it's one more from this. These are other options. So more stuff there. So we have our rules book. Our rules book is 61 pages. Our rules book is 61 pages, and about half of it is actual rules. Now, page 3, just page 3, actually about half of page 4 is the rules. That's the absolute core rules. About half of page 4. This is used the same rule set as the Call of Cthulhu. So BRP, or basic role playing, is the bare bones underneath this system and Call of Cthulhu. If you've played Call of Cthulhu, you can pick this up without any problem. And on the channel, we spend about 5 to 10 minutes teaching Call of Cthulhu. It's really that easy. This is easy to jump into. I've played this without really teaching the rules, and the players can just jump into it without any issue at all. When I mean without teaching the rules, I mean without going into a lot of detail. We just taught as we played. So the rules is pretty simple, as I explained, but there's a few nuances, and it's explained in a way which is actually really well done. There's not a huge amount of artwork, but the artwork is really nice, and the formatting here with tables, etc., is quite important. And again, our cousin Call of Cthulhu explains pretty much the similarities of why this feels similar, and it goes through in details what all the skills are. And if you've played Call of Cthulhu, you understand there's a lot of skills in these type of systems. So there's the core rule books. Also, about half of this is the spells, which are called runes, so there's a lot of details in that too. Book 2 is the World of Glorantha. Again, amazing artwork. These are simple staple bindings. The printing is medium quality, not the highest quality, but about medium quality. Amazing artwork again all the way through it, and this details a lot of the surrounding lands and the world and the history of the world, and essentially Bronze Age role playing, because that's where you are, your Bronze Age role playing, myths, things like that. This is another 60 odd pages of just lore and background information, because this is a very old system with a lot of background. Now, Solo Quest. This is something that all beginner boxes and starter sets really need to up their game. I've seen a few really small ones, but this and say the one from Call of Cthulhu, these are really high quality. These are really good. These are essentially a choose your own adventure style read up of like how to play the game. Now the Call of Cthulhu one has like you building characters and character sheets. This one actually uses the pre-made character sheets to run through a scenario, which is the precursor to the actual campaigns which you have, the adventures which you have, which is a really good way of doing it. It's essentially you're in a battle. This is the night before the battle or the morning before the battle. What you want to do and all your actions actually make sense and have consequences. And it teaches you the world and the setting, teaches you also the mechanics in there as well, but not your character creation. So I really like it. I've done it once. It's also really good homework for your players to do before the adventure, before jumping into book 4. Have your players jump into book 3, get them to play through it. You don't actually have to have the physical copy. There's an online copy if you go to Chaosium and follow the links through to RuneQuest and SoloQuest, etc. It's a really cool one. So the adventures, this is adventures plural. There's multiple adventures in here. I had to think the 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 adventures. Yeah, 3 adventures in here. They're actually really good. They teach you different styles of play and more the idea of like, if you're coming from a Dungeons and Dragons style game where fighting and combat is just a common thing, and because you're constantly grinding your fighting to go up in levels and get experience, in RuneQuest, combat is dangerous. So combat is more of the tip of the iceberg at a climax. It's not the adventure itself. So these adventures actually teach that and give you more context on how it works. So we've actually run through one of these before, and I've read up the second one because I was going to run that as well. They're really, really cool. And they give you, again, that idea of that experience in the setting itself. So, character sheets. Now, one of the things that's my common gripes in many games, in many beginner boxes, are character sheets. So these are character folios. You got a really good large A4 size image of the person. You have their runes. You have a write-up of them for information and a simple how to play. The only thing I'm missing here is if you want to play like this is your style for this character. But in saying that, the how to play kind of also counters that and gives you that in a different way of doing it. You're wondering what's inside? There you go. So the character sheets are more of a fold out. These are far more of a folio, and so much more information this way. My annoyance on them is printing these out online if you have an A4 printer, because this is not A4 size. It's only A4 when you've actually put them together. So you actually have 14 diverse, and I mean really diverse characters, which you can easily find what you want and your play style through them. And with that, these are also written in a way, at least their skill sets are written in to the adventures. So they're not written in full backgrounds, but the backgrounds of each of these characters actually play part in the adventures, which means that it's important to probably use these, and there's no character creation in the box anyway. But really, really good. There are 2 more. Again, same fold out style of blanks. So the print quality, not high quality, they're not shiny, not reflective, but all of these are enough to be able to write on them, but you probably wouldn't need to write on them very often. So that's that. We also have quick reference stuff. Now, again, this is lacking in a lot of starter sets, quick reference materials. There's only 2 of them. Let's get them out here. And Strike Tracker is the third one. Okay, so Strike Tracker is for combat. They do combat very differently in RuneQuest, and this is to pretty much work out where you are in the combat round. It's got a bit of a blurb on the back as well. but that strike tracker is there for essentially everybody. You have quick reference. I would have preferred to have more than one of these, but they're nice high quality printing, or good quality printing here, and a lot of the information. There is a GM's guide or GM's kit, which has more information and just more stuff for the players to be able to reference. So we actually have a map as well. So we've got 2 of them. So that's the actual adventure map. I'm not going to unfold that. But this one is the regions. A nice large regional map. And it's nice high quality. And you've got, if I turn over the other side, so it's a double-sided map, the starting town that you're in. And a lot of details of that starting town, because that's where you're adventuring at the start. The only thing that this is missing in any major way are adventure pawns or miniatures, but this is a system which doesn't use them. So I've got no issue with this not having them. This is unlike Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which doesn't have maps, doesn't have miniatures, and also tries to portray itself as a system of using your imagination rather than using maps. Well, I won't say any person, but most people that play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, it's physical maps and tokens, etc. This is very much a theatre of mind, very much theatre of mind style compared to Dungeons and Dragons. This is one of the top ones in my collection. It is the top in my collection. It pretty much has kits, everything which I would like. My only gripes, box is a little bit annoyingly large, but that's to fit the dice in on top of the A4 sheets. And only a couple of references, as in quick reference cards. But that's about it. Everything else is where it should be. Everything else is amazing. It's just so much better than most other products on the market. So if you want to jump into something different, if you want a really high quality beginner box, really good high quality learning point, this is really good. And if you're wondering about the setting itself, it's a Bronze Age fantasy. It is really, really good setting. I'm impressed with it, and this beginner box is absolutely the best of what I've got here. So that's it from me. Enjoy your role playing, and remember, fighting forward is always an option. So bye for now.